Hi friends, welcome back to another pour. When I first went into this pour, I thought that I would be this would be my first commission piece. I've changed my mind since that, but anyhow, so this is more of a practice for that. So I went in with a gold, and then I went in with a sage, then the lime green by Liquid Basics, and then I went in with this grass green by Master's Touch, and then I went in with the green phthalo by Golden, and then I'm gonna do Hipster Piggy, which is the Mod Podge solvent of the this Little Piggy Lagoon colored, and then I went back in with the Sage, which is a beautiful color for traditional or fine art. Then after the sage green, I went in with the gold, and now I did a little bit of the aqua green, bright aqua actually by Liquid Basics. Then some gold, and now some sage, and now I'm going to use base piggy, which is the Ray Piggy. Again, that was a house paint base as solvent for the this Little Piggy Lagoon colored. Now I'm going in with the light phthalo green by no phthalo light green phthalo light by Golden, and then I went in with grass green by Master's Touch, and then white, titanium white with pearl white, and then some gold. And now I'm doing the PM or the Night Owl Piggy, which is I just basically use my pouring medium as solvent. That was a control in the experiment, Seven Little Piggies. So if, I have a series. If you haven't watched that, if you're interested in using this Little Piggy pigments, then you may want to take a look at him. So one thing about the Little Piggies, this Little Piggy pigments, so they help other paints really shine, and when it dries, it gives it this amazing shimmer. The caution really is that once you dissolve the pigments into a solvent and you create your paints, if you let them sit too long, the pigments will go to the bottom, so you'll have to remix them. Just a cautionary tip there. So here I am trying to do a flow extender, but so I put in some of this extra green, and this green that I put in as a flow extender is actually a mud kind of green. So it was Liquid Basics green light, and then I put in grass green. I put a little bit of Hooker's Green by Liquid Basics, and yeah, so it's morphed, and I just had this as extra, so that's what I put in as my flow extender. And it made it look like a Kelly green, which it really is what I was looking for in terms of the pour. I maybe should have put it into the actual pour, but instead I put the grass green by Master's Touch, and because the Master's Touch is a less expensive paint, it does have the tendency to fracture. Now, I thought because I was adding more expensive paints as well, that it would still be able to hold itself together. And when I pick out the colors, I don't really look at the brand. I just, grab the colors based on what I am able to detect. But anyway, yeah. So after the fact, when I took a picture of the paints that I used so that I would remember, that's when I realized that I used three Master's Touch paints, and yeah, so that's probably why at the end I end up not really thinking about this as my first commission. I mean, it's a nice piece, and like I said, I will still offer it as a second option or in addition to, but really my first commission will be the emerald piece, which is the really gorgeous and vibrant green piece that I poured after this one. So, yeah, and so I'm coming. So I'm publishing this one, even though I poured it first. I'm publishing it second, because I wasn't sure about the that green, and wanted to really make sure that this had a chance to dry and that it didn't crack before I published it. I wanted to make sure that I could show you the final results. And so, yeah, so that's why this is going after the first one. I did do a trailer so that you would see it, and it's called Praying Monk. And the reason why it's called Praying Monk, you'll see it in just a second. So after I tilt from one side to the other, from one side to the other, towards the end, then this white area, I wanted to bring it up to the other side, so to give it a balance. And as I was tilting, then I began to see the rise of this praying monk, which is really incredible. All right, so let's take you in for a close up of the second piece. And I love the way this is the pearl white, and it's a pearl white with titanium white from Liquid Basics, and the pearl white is Declart. So this was a flip cup. I have to figure out what that green was, because I'm not liking this part so far, but I think it's gonna dry beautifully. But still, I think, let's see if I can take you in close enough. I'm afraid it's gonna fracture. I mean, again, the fracturing ends up being really beautiful, but not interested in that today. So let me see if I can get you in closer so you can see the shimmer. It's so hard to capture that part. I don't know if you can tell, but the shimmer is just gorgeous. And has a bit of silver from the Amsterdam silver. Again, so that was a bit of a happy accident. I thought that I was putting in the pearl blue hue by Amsterdam. Instead I put in silver. But, silver on a St. Patrick's Day, I think works, because any kind of precious metal is probably a good thing. And let me see if I can take you out. So I see a praying figure. Do you not see it? Like a monk or like a robe. That's the face right there. See the nose? Has rosy cheeks, or green cheeks in this case, and the eye. Look at that. It's probably praying for wealth and health and everything else that will make someone happy. All right, so I hope this dries beautifully. So here's a close up of the dried piece. So there's lots of greens, and lots of gradients, different color greens that were achieved through this piece. It's not as deep green as I wanted it. So this may be just a practice for my first commission. I thought this would be my first commission, but yeah, I mean, it's lovely. It really is. And there are areas where, like, if you look at it, it feels like you're looking at the ocean from like a plane. I don't know if you've ever flown out of the Monterey airport in California. It flies out into the ocean to turn around, and so you're literally over the ocean. And there's a lot of because it's a protected area, there's a lot of sea kelp, so it's very green. Anyhow, so yeah, so there's areas in here that remind me of that. One time I was flying into Monterey. It was like around three in the afternoon, or like around that time. I could literally see like dolphins, or like it must have been dolphins, or maybe like whales. I'm not sure what animal was down there, but yeah, it was very pretty. So anyway, so this reminds me a lot about that, about the that airport and that experience, but doesn't scream to me St. Patrick's Day. So, I mean, I'm still gonna offer this as an option, but I think my first commission is gonna be the Emerald Isle one. So, okay, so thank you so much for watching till the end. I appreciate all your support, and we'll see you at the next one.